And we have the chance this evening to have a film, a documentary, and we have, as you can see here, two ladies on my left, and I'm very pleased to have them here. One is a local one, Holo Makwaia, and the second one is Mitchel. She came from New York, and she left New York with us now. So I'm going to give to both of them the microphone for a short introduction for both of them.
I actually did model UN. I was North Korea. It did not go well. I'm not sure how many of you want to be journalists or filmmakers, but sometimes this is what you go on to do, or things like the film you're about to see.
Est-ce que le viol a été utilisé pendant ce conflit comme une tactique militaire?
Good evening, my name is Holo Makwaia. I am a former prosecutor at the International Criminal Tribunal for Rwanda. Worked partly in the area or the country where Mitchel did her documentary.
The president called the Secretary of State about the safety of Americans in Rwanda.
Well, I'm watching the news, but the news was OJ. 1 million people being killed in 100 days, and it was all OJ. They're going to create this tribunal. They want prosecutors, lawyers, judges, investigators to come together. I was a prosecutor.
I was hired as an investigator. I was so excited to have my dream job just a couple years out of law school.
People with very little experience can get incredible responsibilities.
We made the film because we want to change fundamentally how this is viewed. It should be taken as seriously as any other crime of war. It affects both genders. I've seen victims of both genders. I've seen victims as young as 18 months old as 84. And until we address it as seriously as we do poison gas, landmines, other crimes, it's not going to change. And war is about civilian casualties now. 90% of all casualties in war are civilian. So until we start addressing this seriously, this will continue, and it's possible to hold the perpetrators responsible. So that's why I get up in the morning to make this.
Every single conflict, if you start asking questions, you will find that sexual violence is used. Why? Because it's an extremely effective tool of conflict.
It's as if someone has reached inside of you, and someone talk about just pulling out their soul.
Les hommes ont violé la femme et son mari était en haut d'un avocat. Voyant ça, il est descendu lui-même pour se faire tuer.
When we were investigating the Rwandan genocide, for example, I could say that investigators were almost overwhelmed by the sheer scale of the genocide, the murders, the other crimes. So rape tends to be subsumed by these other crimes, which appear to be more natural to people to investigate: murder, extermination. As you saw in Akayezo, ultimately we prosecuted rape as a crimes against humanity, and subsequently many other trials were prosecuted where rape was charged and sexual violence. I think with time and more exposure and more enlightenment and more interest in these crimes by different individuals, including people like Mitchel, who are now creating documentaries out of these crimes, we are more and more prosecuting them.
Les viols systématiques, les viols collectifs, je ne pense pas que ce soit quelque chose qu'on peut dire non, ça fait partie de la guerre. C'est une destruction de tout un peuple.
The issue is, can you relate that sexual violence to this accused?
I knew what we were looking for, but it wasn't coming out.
We want to put all these very brave people, if I may put it, they were leaving their lives. Some of them had moved on. We came and asked them to come and assist us to give evidence. So we didn't want to unnecessarily put them into danger. And I'm very glad, and I salute Mitchel, that these ladies, 20 years on, decided to come out.
We couldn't see them. They were behind a curtain with these pseudonyms, JJ and we never saw them.
I want to go see the perpetrator held responsible, and I want to know how they did that. So I describe it as a legal thriller because it's really about showing you what can be done. This is not an insurmountable problem. It looks insurmountable when you hear about it and you read about it, and it sounds so awful, but there is something that can be done.
We cannot lose this case.
We were desperate.
I ask you to find Jean-Paul Akayesu guilty of genocide in all counts for which he is charged.
But as trial lawyers or lawyers, you get trained to be removed, if I can be so crude. So if you get emotionally involved, you're finished. By the end of the day, you're a wreck. And it happens from time to time. You start living the witness's story. And I've got colleagues who went through trauma, had to leave. They couldn't prosecute anymore. They left, really left the tribunal. They just fell apart. So there's been hard moments. You wake up in the middle of the night, you're screaming, you're being chased by the militia, and then you remember, that's the evidence of that witness. Big mistake, I got involved. So you almost become academic in a way, You plod on, you've got your questions, you try not to get involved.
Iri zina nitwaga mu rukiko, nitwaga Gigi. Izina
It was done in 1997. It's people like Holo who continue to carry that torch forward, and it's possible for you guys to go out and carry that change forward even further. So hope is not a good word. It's a story of hope.